All right, let's just jump right into it. We're going to explore an idea that might just change how you think about, well, thinking. What if that thing you do, that constant need to analyze everything, isn't a flaw at all? What if it's actually a hidden strength?
Yeah, I'm willing to bet you have. It's a common label, right? Often said with just a little bit of frustration. You're stuck in your head. You're just spinning your wheels. You got to just let it go. But what if they're all missing the point? Like completely.
And look, those words, they can feel pretty heavy. They suggest that you're anxious or inefficient or just plain stuck. But we're about to completely reframe this entire concept. So let's do a little perspective shift. What if this mental habit of yours isn't a bug in your system, but a feature? A premium feature even. A clear indicator of a highly intelligent, really complex mind at work.
And there's a name for this feature, cognitive complexity. You see, it's not about being stuck, it's about being thorough. Think of it as your brain's default setting for deep processing. It's what lets you see the entire chessboard, not just the very next move. Okay, this is where we totally flip the script. That feeling of being indecisive? Nope, that's you being thorough. What looks like anxiety, that's actually your mind being incredibly analytical. And what feels inefficient? That's you being deeply strategic. See? The behavior doesn't change, but the label we put on it, that changes everything. And we're giving it a label that actually reflects its power. So, fair question. How do we know this is a sign of high intelligence? Well, let's get into the evidence. We're going to look at 5 super common habits that are actually proof of this powerful cognitive style.
All right, kicking it off with number one.
This isn't about getting lost in the weeds for no reason. It's about a deep understanding that the little components, they're what make or break the big picture. It's kind of like planning a road trip, right? You don't just pick a city on a map. No. You're checking the weather, you're looking at traffic patterns, you're finding the best spots to stop along the way.
Okay, on to number 2. And this one flows perfectly from the last one. Now, a lot of people would look at this and just call it worrying, but it's not. It's way more advanced. It's mental simulation. You're a strategist playing out the game in your head. Before a huge presentation, you're not just freaking out about what could go wrong. You're mentally walking through tough questions and planning your answers. That's not panic, my friend. That's preparation.
And that brings us right to habit number 3.
I mean, think about it. Why would you ever make a decision with only, say, 60% of the information if you know you can get to 90%? This is all about a commitment to quality outcomes. You're not delaying the choice. You're making its foundation rock solid.
All right, number 4. And this is where it gets really cool.
This right here, this is the secret sauce of creativity and innovation. Your brain is like this giant interconnected web, and it's constantly finding these hidden threads, connecting history to tech or art to business in ways that nobody else sees. Being able to pull all that unrelated stuff together, that's an absolute superpower for problem solving.
And that brings us to our final habit, number 5. And honestly, this one might just be the most important of them all.
Now, this isn't just navel gazing, okay? The technical term is metacognition. It literally means thinking about your thinking. When you can step back and understand your own biases, what really motivates you, how your own mind works, wow, that is such a sophisticated skill, and it leads to way better decisions and, real personal growth.
So we've seen the habits, but why is this whole process actually a strength? Well, it all boils down to this really counterintuitive idea about what it means to be efficient.
I want you to really let that one sink in for a second. Mental efficiency. It was never about being slow. It's about getting it right the first time. The ultimate goal here isn't speed, it's effectiveness.
Think of it like a supercomputer running a complex simulation. Sure, it takes some processing power and time, but the result is going to be far more accurate than just a quick guess, right? You're putting in the brain power up front so you don't have to waste time fixing a bunch of mistakes later. That is what true efficiency looks like. So what's the bottom line here? It's pretty simple. It's time to stop apologizing for how your brain works and start appreciating it. So let's just hammer this home. Your brain is not broken. It is wired for deep, complex analysis. Those habits we call overthinking are actually signs of a thorough strategic mind. Your process is all about efficiency, not indecision. At its heart, cognitive complexity is a strength, not a weakness you have to overcome.
So I'll leave you with this. The next time someone tells you that you think too much, just smile. Know that they're simply observing your superpower in action. And then ask yourself, what could you accomplish if you fully and unapologetically embraced it?